you? Welcome to the show. I am Mariah Afolabi Brown. As always, I never do this alone. I have the ladies with me. Hello.
Hi.
These are tall sets.
The
You guys
models.
are always like giants.
The models. The models.
How are you doing, Mariah?
I'm doing good. I said I've missed Obiajulu.
Yeah,
It just seems like, it just seems like
I've missed you
forever
too.
since she's been
Yeah,
here.
I have actually.
Yeah.
How you doing,
So
Mariah?
I'm good. What's happening? What's
Okay, you know what?
happening?
While
Nothing's
you're
happening
thinking,
really.
Cream Slices, thank you so much for this cake. It's lovely. We always love having this cake. So I had to say it because I want to take the chocolate chip, the oatmeal cookies.
My birthday was, this is the first cake I'm seeing since my birthday. So, since I did not get cake, I am claiming the cake.
I don't understand.
Audience, I'm wicked at you guys. Relax. Don't worry. You will chop inside. I will share with
Taking
you.
the oatmeal on top of it. I love oatmeal cookies. So how you doing, Obiajulu? What have you been up to?
Hey, what have I been up to? Jojo.
We didn't say the story before you. We wanted you to say it
What have you
yourself.
to say myself? So on Monday, I woke up in high spirits. You know, I had already done my meditations. I was happy. I said, I'm going to watch The View today. I copied the number down that when my girls are talking, I'm going to call in and give them my view. Then I saw the makeup on. Everybody was looking fly, especially Miriam. I said, the person that did her makeup. You know, I was just having fun. The hot topic came and went, like about 9:30 when the rain started. So the signal went off. I had to go into the room. Okay, since I had a lot of things to do, so let me read my books. I just heard rain. Pa, 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 pa. No, I felt water on my body. So I looked up. I saw water was coming from my ceiling. Before I knew what was happening, my house was flooded. From my room to the children's room to my you could practically hear rain falling inside my house. Wow. I didn't know that the wind had taken off my roof. Oh, my I'm calculating money right now to fix that one at the moment. So it's not been easy at all. And a lot of people,
A lot of stories concerning this rain. It was really bad a couple of days ago.
It was really, really bad. We've not had light since the rain fell, and my gen isn't powering my fridge. So this morning I was telling my nanny that we need to empty, the fridge is getting warm. Okay. And we need to empty it. And then I was going to lament that, this is my generator. And I said, somebody, you know someone who is looking for serious money to fix roof. Don't complain over your fridge. Just, because people, some that did not experience any of it should just be grateful, because it doesn't, it's not, it's not working. So,
she gave me her freezer many years ago. And the freezer she gave me is still working.
And your own is not working.
And your own is not working.
Now collect your freezer back.
It doesn't matter.
That freezer is still functioning and it's really cool.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
I was going to give it to your mom because she made it for her business. I was going to hand over to her, but I didn't buy a new one.
So,
my kids are doing French projects. Like a car they're not using? They want to.
No car.
We have to recognize our audience member that came with
Yes, please.
Please, any patel for our audience.
Beautiful.
Somebody has to give her the mic. Why did you? This is really nice.
Creative.
It's your view that so you're an old watcher because obviously you knew that was our phrase in the back then. It's your view, let it count. That was how we used to say it back then. But we kind of stopped. Maybe we'll start it over since you reminded us. It's your view, let it count. But thank you so much for that. Was very thoughtful.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's so lovely.
Okay, let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll go through the front pages of the newspaper. Stay with us. We'll be right back. The Punch. 5 states lock horns with federal government over healthcare fund. Ogun residents protest as federal government marks 300 houses for demolition. Court sentences Cameroonian house help to death for killing his boss. Buhari returns from Saudi Arabia once against drug trafficking. Acting CJN dragged to court over alleged age falsification. Serap Bishop reacts as Saraki rejects satanic accreditation guidelines. Lack of funds, FG shuts 3 foreign missions. Okay, the major headline is...
Yes, I have the major headline. So the Minister of Health, Professor Isaac Adewale, has been complaining. So he decried the deplorable state of the tertiary healthcare in, in Nigeria, saying that the state governments have not taken up their responsibility of, providing funds for the primary and secondary healthcare. And so a lot of people are pushing to the tertiary, which normally is supposed to be for referrals. So they are not taking care of what is in their purview. And he is saying that there's a new scheme that they brought about, which is, I would like to quickly call it a basic healthcare provision fund, started since 2018, that was last year, but a lot of states have not joined, like 14 states have not signed up with that health scheme. And 4 states particularly are calling the federal government and saying that is because there's a lot of politicization, because they are supposed to drop 100 million in a central bank account.
Okay, let me wrap this in a nutshell.
Yeah.
What is really going on, according to what I read in the reports? The minister is saying that the reason why all these tertiary hospitals are dilapidated is because lots of people are rushing to it. So we need to ensure that the primary healthcare centers are well funded. Now, there's a fund, which is the scheme you mentioned, that is available for states. Only 22 have accessed this fund. 14 haven't. So he's saying that this state should access this fund so that they can provide the basic healthcare for people, so they don't have to overwork the tertiary institutions. For me, that is still an excuse, because the minister is in charge of all the facilities.
No, Maura, it's not necessarily an excuse, because recently my mom and I were talking, and she was saying that someone mentioned to her that the primary healthcare centers in Jos, a lot of people don't go there, and that they're working, they have good staff, they have facilities, but people just prefer to go to the tertiary. So a lot of people do not know that, your primary healthcare centers are
So he has mentioned the names of the states. So maybe you should pressure your government to actually access this fund so that they can better equip the primary healthcare centers, so you don't have to go to the tertiary healthcare centers.
Yeah, so there's a young man, his name is Tobechi Michael. Yeah. Yes, he's a 46-year-old businessman, and he's dragging our acting CJN to court. That's Justice Tonko Mohammed, for allegedly falsifying his age. He says he changed his age from being born in 1950 to 1953 when he was given this appointment, and he wants the judiciary to help him, to help show that this would cause disrepute to the judiciary and bring it disrespect and whatever.
Right.
No, don't say all right.
No, we have official age and we have the real age in Nigeria. It's normally like the practice here. So
no, a falsification. That falsification, should be we remove the former CGN over forgetting to write his falsification is a crime. You don't know your age.
He forgot.
Yes, they should take it.
No, and the thing is a recent falsification, according to him.
Let's move on to Daily Sun.
They should deal with it.
Obasanjo wants to divide Nigeria, says federal government. Demands apology from ex-president over comments on Boko Haram. Buhari is back from Saudi. Agbako sues finance minister over the local government funds. I actually wanted to read that story. Who has that story?
I read the story.
FG indicts governors on healthcare. And National Assembly backs down on stringent media accreditation conditions. Lots of stories.
So that was a follow-up to yesterday. The National Assembly management actually created a new accreditation process for media access to the National Assembly, and it's been called satanic, it's been called terrible, it's been called a way to gag the press and gag media. And Serap actually held up this against the National Assembly, and now we've had statement from the Speaker of the National Assembly and the President of the Speaker of the House of Representatives and the Senate President that Senator Bukola Saraki said he had no idea of this. This was something carried out by the management, and that now that he knows about it, he's going to assure that the moves would be suspended indefinitely while the management would be subject to create new guidelines, because some of the guidelines were actually extremely strict and they were asked to bring tax payment for 2 years. So any media house less than 2 years would have no access to the National Assembly. So a lot of those things are going to be reviewed now. So we're happy this people cried out and they've been heard.
Okay, let's move on to The Nation. Federal government attacks Obasanjo over divisive comments. Houseboy to die by hanging for killing his boss. MPC directs CBN to restrict banks' access to bonds and treasury bills. Knock for National Assembly overrules, and FG approves 25 billion for ASU. FIRC plans to exceed 5.32 trillion naira revenue. Wow, that means a lot of money is coming up from taxes. That's great stuff. But if it's enough, we don't know. Let's take the houseboy story.
Yes, the human interest. This story, I think, broke in 2 years ago of a lady who was murdered by her house help in Parkview. So finally, he's been sentenced to death by hanging. I don't know if we remember, his name is Lojo Koyemen Joel. He had asked for an advance for his salary, and when she didn't give it to him, he stabbed her. So finally, after 2 years, justice has been served.
Who is talking about Baba Obasanjo, our former president?
Okay, so
former President Obasanjo, let me say it properly. Yes.
So where's uncle?
Yeah, uncle. What's going on? What did your uncle say now?
Apparently, he spoke about the Boko Haram move, the entire crisis in the north being a move to Islamize and Fulanize Nigeria, and everybody is responding to it, that is heating up the politics, and it shouldn't divide Nigeria. And I know we took it yesterday. So
actually, let me quote him. What the former president said is that Boko Haram is implying that they have both incubated and developed beyond what Nigeria can handle. They are now combined they've combined with the international group ISIS, and it's no longer an issue of lack of education, but it's now a West African Fulanization, African Islamization, and global organized crimes of human trafficking, money laundering, and drug trafficking. So he's saying it's no more an issue of lack of education that is causing Boko Haram, but it's actually an agenda to Islamize and Fulanize West Africa. So that's what the Minister of Communication is replying, saying that that is wrong and that's divisive. And I'd like you to quote what the minister said. You have that, what he said exactly?
No, I don't have it.
Okay, I don't have that, but it would be nice. I think one of the papers actually quoted Minister of Information, actually.
Yeah, Minister for Information.
Minister of Information, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, specifically said that what he was saying was divisive, what the former president said was divisive, and it's something that is unbecoming of an elder statesman to be saying such.
Allegations around.
It's beneath him to have said that, and a lot of other people to have been coming to say that, they're standing against what he said. But there are a lot of other people, there are other people who are standing with Obasanjo and agree with what he's saying. I think Nadeko and Khan as well think that what he said is right.
The issues he raised are serious, and I think that maybe because it was brought to the media space and everybody is now debating it over the newspaper, is something that should have been privately discussed with, because they have the meetings, they have a monthly meetings where previous heads of states meet with the current one to advise and work together. The issues are grave. We're not just fighting Boko Haram, we're fighting an international group, and so we shouldn't just begin to name and shame Obasanjo like what he's saying is wrong. It is a fact. But Boko Haram has merged with ISIS.
But Nima said something very important yesterday. When an elder statesman like this is saying this kind of, you have to be very careful, because once you do that, you don't know what someone like a Muslim, an average Muslim, goes through when you make this kind of utterances on the front page.
More sensitive.
So it's too, yes, but so it's very sensitive. So he needs to be very careful, especially for someone like an Obasanjo.
Yes, and we generalize a lot.
No, yes, but the thing is, he's talking about.
He didn't say everybody. He didn't say every Muslim. He didn't say every Muslim.
Let's not argue it, because we're going based on what he said.
Yes.
And based on
the Boko Haram has now partnered with international organizations, and that they have an agenda
to Islamize. So what does that mean?
So he's not talking about every Muslim is bad.
So, Muslims will tell you there's a difference between a terrorist and a Muslim. Please stop putting them together.
This, because it's not for us to debate, and it's not our place here to debate at all. Let's move on to Vanguard. Obasanjo seeks to divide Nigeria in his old age. We talked about that already. Let's pick a story we haven't discussed. Otedala visits Chairman Chukwu in London. Ondo students shut down Akure over tuition fees hike. Purchasing Managers Index grows further, says CBN. National Assembly drops stringent accreditation issue for journalists. Is there anything?
Yes, I have the story that they are in Akure, the students from Adekunle Ajasin University and Osutech, that's Ondo State University of Science and Technology. The students are protesting, and they're saying they're not resuming until their fees have been revised and reduced. They said that, I think it was last year, it was increased to 250,000, and they have not seen a corresponding change in the infrastructural, facilities in the schools. So they're asking the government and the governor to reduce those fees before they will resume. And they've done it peacefully. I mean, they went to one of the Obas and says he's grateful that they're doing it peacefully. So we hope that there will be a discussion and a way forward.
The message over and over again that, your view, we should talk about it, we should get media presence to talk about it. I believe that education isn't cheap. But in a country that is trying to move people from unemployment at a huge rate, we should ameliorate these issues for those that want to study, to have access to good education.
Moving on, Daily Trust. As bandits kill many in 3 Katsina local governments, protesters take corpse to Government House and Emir's Palace. Picture here again of what the governor is doing in Borno. 44 mega schools and a breakdown of what they 1,000 orphan hostel capacity, 600 day students from hostel communities. The idea is that he's doing quite a bit on education, but that's pretty impressive. Boko Haram, Obasanjo's comments divisive and depressing, says federal government. States got 691 billion naira Paris Club refunds in March, says minister. Okay, so we know about that, but they're not dispersed the next batch.
No, actually they have. What the minister is saying is that since March, that one that we've been arguing that hasn't been given to them has been given to them since March. There's nothing left, so that is why she's talking about it. And I mean, we were talking about not giving them till May 29. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, all right. but I think that the national assemblies the state assemblies of every state needs to monitor what is going on. It's so annoying. Amurayo, how can we not stop? Can we stop talking about this issue?
They know what's going on, but when it's happening, when money like that has gone out, we don't talk about it.
Katsina, go ahead, please. So angry youths from one of the local governments in Katsina stormed the federal government house with 18 cops. People who died from corpses, who died from bandits. Said the bandits got into the village.
They carried the corpses?
Yes, carried the corpse and went to just dump it there. They got into the village, started shooting sporadically into the air, killing people, injuring a lot of others. Then they complained, they didn't see any help. They actually accused the police officials that they don't come in due time to, help check what is happening. That the civil, that their joint task force even performs better than the
Fortunately, we have to round up.
security officials.
Well, that's all we can take on Front Page Review. When we come back, I tell you how Google is helping me with my next business. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. Let me tell you how Google's been helping me. Recently, I decided to resume my tiger nut drink business. So I thought of how to relaunch with a whole new attractive package and design. So I opened my Google app and searched for package design tips. And this is exactly what I did. I went to Google and I went to packaging design tips. And that's what came up here. So to my surprise, I found tips to help me fuel my side hustle. I'm sure it's showing up on your screen right now. Should be. Can you see what I'm saying? You can see, right? Okay, I'm sure. Let's see. So it gave me 10 tips for creating eye-catching package design. So one of the issues I had was the fact that the bottles I was using was the normal bottles everybody was so it was the same place we're all going to pick up bottles. So I needed something different from the usual, from the normal. So that's why I had to get Google to help me with various bottle designs. And I actually got some really nice bottles. I was looking for one with the big cap. They opened the wider caps, not the normal small caps. And I got some really, really nice design. Another issue I had, and that challenge I had was, when I started, was also the issue of preservatives. There was a problem with that, and also how to store my tiger nuts. So one of the things I went to was storage facilities. I looked for storage facilities near me, especially for freezers where they can actually store my milk fresh and help me to distribute it. So I was able to go to storage facilities near me, and I came up with so many options. Yeah,
Fantastic.
So many options.
So that means business is going to be a lot easier now for a lot of people.
I like, that's important because I remember when you were talking about how long it takes you to finally give it, especially to Muslims that were fasting. It was taking you a long time to send it to them, and by the time it gets to them, it wasn't fresh.
Yes.
So that's a good thing.
What I found was that a lot of people actually like the product, but the issue was preservatives. They wanted to have to keep it for 24 hours.
Whatever career or business you have, you could definitely just use the Google app and fuel your hustle to achieve whatever you have in mind. That's so interesting.
I'm definitely going to try it out.
That's really
All right,
interesting.
so I'm just being told that our viewers didn't see what I was looking at, but we're going to break. When we come back, and I have to redo it again, so you see, because it's important that you know how Google can help you hustle. So I'm just being told now that you didn't see what I was saying. I would really like you, our viewers, to see how you can use the Google app to help you fuel your hustle. So I'll go on a quick break. When I come back, hopefully we'll fix this technical issue so you can see how exactly Google helped me. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
So, thanks for staying with us. It's about Google today. Google has been helping me to resume my tiger nut drink business. As I was telling you earlier, I thought of how to relaunch it with a new attractive package design. So this time around, I went to Google app and searched for package design tips. And this is what I did. I went to the Google app and I went to package design tips. Voila! See all the various recommendations that came up for the bottles.
Less is more.
In fact, when I even went to the bottles, I was specific in when I wanted a type of bottle. Let's try to see the packaging bottles. Anyway, let's move on to the storage. Also, I was looking for storage facilities near me because, as I said earlier, one of the major problems we have with tiger nut business is the fact that it's hard to store it, to preserve it. So I went to storage facilities near me, and it came up with various recommendations.
Wow. Different locations.
Different locations. And what I did, I called a few of these locations, and I was able to get one that had a freezer. A freezer to keep my tiger nut milk, which is great. So
As in,
it's important. Yes.
Whatever the hustle, whatever the business, whatever plans people are working on, just know that you can just go to Google App to fuel your hustle, and it really does work.
And coming to the audience, I mean, there are lots of young people here, and I know there are so many things you're doing that you need help with, information, how to assist your business. And Google App has helped me, and I'm sure it can also help you too. I know Mariam is also working on a few projects, but we'll talk about yours next week, I believe.
Okay, yeah.
But definitely, so pretty much you can also, if you have something you're working on or a business you're trying to build or start, if you take a picture of what you're doing and send it to #FuelYourHustle, you can also tag TVC Connect. So you then send a schedule for a hustle masterclass being organized by Google. So let us know how you're using the Google app to help your own hustle. Send the pictures to #FuelYourHustle, and you then get a schedule of when the hustle masterclasses will be organized by Google, and then you come to learn more ways on how to use Google to help your hustle. Isn't that fantastic?
It is.
That is phenomenal. Let's go on a break now. When we come back, we'll talk about an issue that everybody's bothering about. Obodo, right?
Yeah.
You want to relocate?
We're all
You want to
going.
relocate? You want to go? Don't worry. We'll teach you how to. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
So before you run away, don't worry, we'll come to the issue of relocating. But first, Nigeria is a land of blessed opportunities, and they're blessed with natural and human resources. Naturally endowed with a good design that is so attractive and adventurous. Now, we need more than just these three things to boost tourism in this country. Joining us on the show is the CEO Tour to Nigeria, Mr. Michael Balogun. So he's going to be telling us how we can harness the opportunities within the tourism industry in Nigeria, that you don't have to travel out, especially with our approaching summer holidays. People are planning to go to Dubai, going to the UK, to Netherlands. He's saying within Nigeria, you can actually find tourist centers. So tell us a bit about tourism in Nigeria and where are the nice places to go to?
Where do I even start from? Thank you so much for having me here. And first thing I'll say is the part about tourism is people should see it as a business. It's a business on its own before we even think about the locations and the destinations. And two, the different locations in Nigeria has not been really explored, even by the medias and then the citizens. But when you look at Lagos, for instance, you have a lot of destinations.
Really?
From the Badagries to the Lakoes, to the Omo, to the Shaka resorts. There are lots and lots of places people don't even hear about.
So the truth is, I'm here and I know that Badagry is beautiful, but then I consider the stress of me getting from here to Badagry and I lose interest. Because I'll probably get to the UK faster than getting to Badagry.
That's not true. You can go by boat.
Yeah, you can go by boat. And two, you're right about what you're saying, but what we think about when we talk about all that is policy and poor infrastructures and all that.
I'd like you to help us talk about the business, because we're about to bring in a lawyer who's going to help Nigerians and those who want to relocate. But there are opportunities within this tourism industry in Nigeria that young people are not tapping into. And everybody wants to stay in Lagos, but there are places outside Lagos that you can actually invest in. Tell us about it.
Yeah, like in the last 1 week I've been on the road. We've been to Osun-Osogbo, and tomorrow I'm traveling again with the Nantop. We're having our annual AGM with the Oni of Ife for 3 days. There's so many things you can see around, even in Osun-Osogbo. The art, the culture, even the Dodo Ikire is something they can export.
What's that?
This thing made with dodo and the oil and the pepper.
Flour, palm oil.
You know, these are
Like a
stuff you
snack.
can export for business.
Oh, the one in
The
traffic.
culinary tourism is huge. Then different states, like what you were saying about the Badagry one, if the roads were good, you probably spend 2 hours going. But with the rains and all that, trust me, you spend 6 hours. The media, and I'll say you people too, are part of the problem. Like when you turn on CNN, half of the days you watch CNN, you're going to see Truly Malaysia, Iconic India, this one, that one. Have you ever seen any adverts done in Nigeria? On CNN, on any foreign station? That is why tourism is business.
Tell us where.
Tourism is business on its own. So by the time you allow resort owners to come, they don't do billboards. Everybody's running from tax. They don't do, and that's coming back to Google, like you said. If you go on Google and type destinations in Lagos, you see loads of places. And like the people in the audience, I bet if I asked them, have you ever been to a Brazilian quarters in Lagos?
I have. That's my village.
I don't even have heard of the place. But aside from Lagos, let's even take it into Nigeria. What are the other places that, you know, like attractions that we could go to in the south, in the southeast, in the north? What are the places that Nigerians watching now can look forward to visiting?
There's Obudu.
Is it still?
It is still there. There's 62 destinations in Osun-Osogbo alone. 62? There's 62, but the only emphasis they lay on now is just the Osun-Osogbo festival. But thank God there's a new one coming up now, and it's going to be very big.
Our festival.
It's going to be very big.
We cannot have this
It's called Karile Odua. And you know they have the hills for hiking. The Olumere waterfall, last week we were there.
Hike in Nigeria.
Yes, people hike.
Yeah.
That is just it. You see, if you're using, like you said, your Google for all these things, a lot of foreigners come here. They camp outside. In different outdoor camping.
Okay.
There's Lekki Conservation.
See now.
There's Lekki Conservation.
That's the green water.
Yes.
That water is green, Ogami.
It's white.
Anyway, sir, we cannot talk about tourism without talking about Plateau State. So I hear you're talking about Lagos, a lot of the southwest states. Have you looked at places like Plateau State? We call it Plateau the Beautiful, not only for the weather, but for the scenic. You know, here I am. I'm actually marketing tourist attractions in Plateau State. But the problem is, like recently, Kajuru Castle.
Yeah.
You know, the sad incident that happened there. Unfortunately, a lot of us first heard about that place after the killings. And that is a fear we have. I know you're saying one of the problems we have is media. There's the one, I think, most important major problem we have is insecurity.
Yeah.
So what is...
And because the government of today is not seeing tourism as a business, like what you were saying the other time, if you look at all the tourism destinations, they have something called DMOs, Destination Management Organization. You hear something like Dubai Tourism Board, Kenya Tourism Board. We don't have.
You know, when I got married to my husband, he's from Ekiti, and my father-in-law was so proud of Ikogosi and the whole works. He really wanted me to see the whole part, all the parts of different parts of Nigeria within the Osun and Ekiti and all that. And we went to Ikogosi, and it was a nice place at the time. I think Governor Dr. Fahmi was governor at the time, they were actually making efforts to make Ikogosi a nice place to go. But I went there not too long ago, and honestly, it's dilapidated. So I'm thinking, if I want my kids to go there, I definitely would think twice about that.
It's
so
a maintenance
I've gone to
culture.
a few places outside the country, and I'm not one of those people that travel and just go and stay in the mall. I actually try to go and see places. I've been to. I lived in the US for some time, so I go to Penn State, I go to Florida and different states, and I go there to learn. I mean, if you want to go to New York, trust me, I'm your tour guide. I will take you. We'll get to Ellis Island. We'll get to so many places because I wanted to learn. Here, nobody's projecting what we have. And that's the issue we have. Yes, the government can do something, but even private owners, how can a private owner, a private business owner, invest in tourism and see possible returns in this business?
First, I'll say this, we are not too patriotic with what we have in Nigeria.
Yes.
Over 5,000 tour operators, and I can tell you for free, like 4,000 of them are promoting Dubai tourism, Kenya, Zanzibar. And then people like us, we are not up to maybe 800 promoting Nigeria, and we are strictly doing inbound tourism in Nigeria. We don't promote any other place, not even Ghana, not even Kenya, just Nigeria.
Morning, are you there? Thanks for calling. This is Nigeria.
Yeah, it's Ismail from Ilorin.
Good morning, Ismail. This is not Nigeria.
Good morning. I'm actually first-time caller.
First time caller. Go ahead, please.
All right. I really appreciate your program, and the topic you picked this morning is nice. But we need policies from the government that will encourage people to go into this business real time. Because you can't just stand up as a private individual, okay, it can't go see how can I make money from it, or other side. These are government's own side.
Yeah.
The government is not working on it. The private individuals can do it. There are policies that should back it up. Thank you. That's my contribution this morning.
So, because we have to round up on this conversation, what would you like the government to do to help promote tourism in our country? What are those things? Because many of them are watching right now. So, what do you need from them?
First, they need to put the right people in the right places. The policies, you can't put a mechanic to come and handle the aviation sector. The policy, then the tax part of it. Half of all these resort owners, I know them one-on-one. That's why a lot of them don't even do adverts. And when you make, you give them, the tax waiver, they are paying so much on the normal petrol, diesel. You go to some resort, they're using quad bikes. And you expect to pay 20,000 for 15 minutes on just a quad bike.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
It doesn't make sense. So until they change all this stuff, like typical hotel room in some resorts starts from 45, and then you have a family of 5. How do you cope?
How do you handle that? That is
So when you look
expensive.
at the expense you pay in Nigeria, that's why a lot of people run to Dubai.
To travel abroad.
And one of the issues I have, because I mean, when Tinapa came, I was really excited about Tinapa. Unfortunately, I think Tinapa somehow wasn't
business
sustained.
died.
The idea, the original idea was superb.
It's
But
our
unfortunately,
maintenance culture.
maintenance was crazy.
Zero.
And then I knew another company that came, an amusement park, trying to bring in the Disney World type thing here. I mean, it was a fantastic idea. For those of you that have gone to Disney World, you appreciated it. But unfortunately,
The
they're not
logistics
getting-
too.
Logistics, patronage, people are not actually patronizing it. Let's go on the break. You have gifts for us?
Yes, please.
Oh, where is this from?
This is all for Nigerian
Nigeria.
souvenirs. That's why I
my
said.
fridge.
That's why I said.
This is Lagos. Whoa.
My fridge. Now I have Lagos.
Say tourism is a business.
Where is this
Let me
Lagos?
see. That is
Excellence.
what's it called? TBS.
Oh, how did you
This
know?
is
This is Lagos Island.
yes, and that's the Cathedral Church.
The Cathedral Church.
Yes, the Civic. And then you have the Lagos plate number. So this is why tourism is just not about packaging.
Have my plate now.
Because I
The
actually
souvenirs.
I buy at the airport. But they don't sell this here in the airport.
They do.
Maybe because I'm
They sell at
So
Terracotta
let's
as well.
invest in fact, this year, we're going to, let's plan a trip.
And I know the best
So, ladies of you, if you want to do a trip, would you organize one for us?
every day.
Let's plan
There's a
one.
place you people would love to go.
Yeah, let's plan it. All right, let's go on a break. When we come back, for those of you that think we're speaking French and still want to relocate, stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Okay, so most Nigerians, or many Nigerians actually, in one way or the other, have been caught asking themselves, how can we relocate legally? But when the complexities and expenses associated with the migration hits them, they become discouraged. Now, recently, when the US started with these stringent policies on those who are seeking a return trip to America started, people have begun to get apprehensive about this issue of traveling abroad or relocating. So joining us on the show is an immigration lawyer, Mr. Olayinka Oladanas. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you for having me.
You can call us on 07080668014. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. Our objective is to discourage Nigerians of traveling abroad illegally, because obviously many of you are giving us a bad name. People like us that want to travel now, making life difficult for us. So we brought a lawyer here to help us understand if you really, really do want to relocate, what are the options you have to Canada, to the United Kingdom, to the United States, to even wherever it is, even if it is to Ghana. Tell us, so we'll just let us know where to start from. So let me throw the ball in your court now. If I want to relocate, what's the basic minimum I should have?
First, let me correct an impression that the first statement you made about many of you are, giving us bad names.
29,000 actually.
Just a few.
Okay.
Just a few.
You just magnified.
Yeah, just a few. Unfortunately, that few rubs on, many of us. Okay, well, that's by the way.
So the issue of relocation is big now. People are thinking of traveling abroad. And we want Nigerians, once it's become a norm to travel the right way. So what are the options? When you travel, when you go to get a visa, for example, you usually ask for a visiting visa. What exactly are the restrictions with the visiting visa? And if you would like to stay, what would you advise the person to do?
Okay, well, let's start from visiting visa. There are different countries with different number of days, with different, most of the visa applications are similar in most of the countries, but most of them have their days. For instance, there's a particular country that may say, okay, our visiting visas, you can only come in and spend 30 days or 60 days maximum. Even if you apply, and even when they give you a 2 years visa, like US, if US gives you a 2 years visa and you get to the point of entry, they stamp whether they're giving you a month or 2 months. That's 60 days. Whether they're giving you 2 months, they stamp it. And you should not ordinarily exceed the time limit given to you. What you should do, whatever you have to do, you have to leave the country before the expiration of 2 months.
So even if they give you 2 years, you have to leave?
Yes, you have to leave.
Right.
Then you can always go back.
Okay.
But at least that instance, if it's a visiting visa and you, at the point of entry in US, you stamped 2 months, you should not exceed 2 months.
Now let's go to the average Nigerian that travels with a visiting visa to the US and gets there, eats burger, gets cool air, and say, I don't want to go back.
Yes.
What can that person do?
Good. Now, if you want to extend, there's an avenue for you to file for extension of stay. Now, you must go through that, and you must do that. Now, the same way when you come here and you have extended the time and you really want to stay back, there's an avenue everywhere in the world that you can still go ahead to say, okay, you go to the embassy, to the consulate, or you meet an immigration lawyer wherever there to ask for extension of stay.
So what you're trying to tell us now is that your legal way seems very long and the process is not interesting at all. And that's why a lot of people want to, shunt it and escape. So you go in with your visiting visa and you disappear. All of a sudden, they don't see you. And there are some states, especially in the US, that you can hide. Sanctuary states. They are not very stringent on their measures. So people most times don't really have the energy for all of these long processes because you may get it, you may not get it. Now, for those who really want to go, there's no hope for them here. What other ways can they use?
Legal ways.
Legal ways, Legal ways, sorry.
It's simple. There's even the legal ways we're talking about, the immigration ways or the lawyers, it's not a long process. They think it is. Because, you see, in the end, when you avoid that, you run away from the due process. In the end, you're caught up. Then the next thing, you're giving us bad names. You're staying here illegally. Then the time you're supposed to have spent fixing it ordinarily, illegally, then you wasted it, and you still have to go back. And somehow they are deported and all that. And aside from US, aside from Canada, there are other countries.
That's where I want to go to. So because we seem to focus our attention on US, Canada, UK, but there are many other countries that offer that they want people to come in. So, and most of people watching that want to relocate to greener pastures, quote and unquote, are looking for options. So, do you have, what are like the top 3 countries in the world, apart from these common ones that are more welcoming to people that want to come and work, immigrants and immigration policy generally?
Let me say this before I go to that. We have 44 countries, you know, in the world that people can visit, a Nigerian can visit with your passport. And most of them visa-free.
Without visas.
Without visas. And number of them, and number of them, maybe visa on arrival,
yes,
you know, like that.
So, example, please.
We have Swaziland, we have Mauritius, we have the Ghana, just a neighbor.
Is there winter there? Because that's what happened.
That's what you want. Then let's now move to these other countries that they are wonderful people, they're welcoming people, very nice set of people. We have the Belgium.
Belgium. Okay.
Yeah, Belgium is a good place to go and say you want to. They want you to come.
Belgium.
Belgium. Mexico. You know, a lot of people run away from Mexico probably because of the drug, whatever they hear about Mexico. But the truth is, there are other places in Mexico that are fantastic.
So Mexico, Belgium, other countries that
Mexico,
are more welcoming
Belgium, Paraguay, Panama.
South American countries.
There are states in America that they are extreme.
So true.
They're extreme, extreme. And people still want to, it's the same America, people still want to come
Let
in.
me take this call from Dupe. Dupe, are you there?
Yes, ma. Good morning,
Morning.
ma.
Go ahead, please.
Thank God, though. I'm a first-time caller, ma.
Hallelujah.
Please, ma, I want to contribute, ma. My own... Yes, ma. I'm a first-time caller, ma.
Oh, don't watch the TV.
You're watching the TV. Listen to me, please. Go ahead.
I'm listening to you, ma. Please, I want to contribute. It's not necessary for us to go to US or UK. There are so many places, African countries. My husband is in Dubai. And for the past 2 years, and thank God, he has made a live meet for us.
Is he in Dubai legally?
Yes. He went for visiting visa. On getting there, he met one Oyinbo man. He was working for that man, so that man did it. They gave him 2 years.
For him.
He has been there for 3 years now. Thank God we have like 2 houses in Ogun State now.
Fantastic.
Yes,
Congratulations.
So, thank you very much, Dupe. Now, some people do that. They travel and hope they'll meet one Oyinbo man.
That will help them.
just change their life. And unfortunately, they wait 6 months, 7 months, 1 year looking for this Oyinbo man. It doesn't happen.
And they become illegal.
And they become illegal.
Yeah, well, my advice to most of these people, there's no reason why you should stay anywhere illegal. Because in the end, you still be caught and you either deported. And in fact, when you're now leaving, probably maybe you had even few things. And in the end, when they're sending you away, you may not even take a pin.
There was a story. There was a story of this woman that was deported with 3 children, and it was all over social media from France. And it was said that she had her kids from France or Germany, I think it was Germany. And she had her kids from 2 other countries, and then she was residing in Germany, and she was getting paid per child. And somehow they found out that she wasn't a legal resident, and she was deported. Like the kids were brought in strangely into Nigeria, looking like they were looking lost. They've never been to Nigeria before. So, and the reason I'm saying so is because many people think that if I escape, I'll survive. But what are the damages that happen when you become illegal and you're caught over there?
Well, like I said, if you're caught and things like that happen, like I said, 1, deportation is paramount. So when you see, you can't tell anyone, any government, any country how to run their shows. And you can't. You know, everybody we all have immigration laws, you know.
Let me take this call very quickly from Ola. Ola, are you there from the UK?
Yeah.
Go ahead,
good
please.
Morning. Yeah. This is Ola speaking. I just want to make a short contribution. You see, the issue of immigration and relocation, especially for Nigeria, if you don't go through the normal process, you're going to mess up yourself by the time you get to your destination, especially those who came to UK and all these countries with visiting visas. You can come to visiting visa, but you have to be prepared to face whatever you will face here. But there are other countries which you
So are
can
you
relocate,
legally
especially
living in the UK?
Europe.
Let me ask you, Ola.
Yeah.
Are you legally living in the UK?
Yes.
How did you come about your papers?
I was a student.
Okay.
But during that time, after you finish your masters, you can't. When you finish your master, you give you 2 years to work.
Okay.
So and then 2 years, if you get a permanent job, then you can extend your visa for 3 years again. Then you get your permanent residence.
Oh, really?
That's how it's good.
Fantastic.
That was then, not now.
Not now.
That's been in a hostile environment since 2012.
Okay.
So now, but what I just want to keep in is that there are other countries for those who has money. If you have money, relocation to if you have money, relocation to Europe is very simple. If you have like 10 million for investment visa, all these Austria, Sweden, with your 10 million, they can give you an investment visa, and it's going to be 5 years. But there is the relocation is for those who has money. If you don't have money, just forget about it. If you
Stay in Nigeria.
enjoy yourself.
People are running because they don't have
I wanted to
money.
pick up on this, please.
Thank you very much, Ola.
Somebody was telling me recently that if you have money and you want to travel, relocate to a place like the US, exactly, that you can buy a property there.
Yes.
Then when you buy that property, they help you with your papers, and then you can move.
Yes.
How does that work?
Yeah,
Is that true?
yeah, very possible, very workable.
Okay.
Yeah, workable. Because you see, don't forget that US and most of these countries, the reason why they don't allow you in is because to them, they think you're going to come and become a liabilities. They don't want you to feed on them. Now, but if you are bringing money to them, to their table, you are bringing investment, of course, they'll welcome you. And from everywhere in the world, they want money. They want you to bring something to the table. Nobody wants a liability. Nobody wants you to come and live on the little they have.
Let's go on a break. When we come back, we'll continue this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thank you for staying with us. Let's take a few tweets. Yes.
Yes, Mr. Debaya says, relocation abroad is no joke. I have been living abroad for over a decade, and I can tell you that staying home and making a living and be comfortable is better than a journey of no destination. Andrew Stratham says, a 4-year course in a UK university will give you 1-year job placement, which can allow you to work in the same firm after graduation.
Okay, any other tweets?
tweet?
Andrew in Streatham says, Nigerians truly don't have shame. You are telling Britons to visit Nigeria. You haven't solved the murder of the Briton that was killed as a tourist in Kaduna. Tourism call, tourism ni.
Let me come to the audience, because I know that there are 1 or 2 of you that have questions. Who is planning to relocate here? Anybody? Where's our mic? Is it with you? Yes. Let's pass the mic to the gentleman at the end.
Raise your hands. Let's know.
Yes. Go ahead. Tell us about your plans.
I just want to ask if you go over there, like you the way some people do it, like maybe they go over there to study, then peradventure they fall in love, they have 1 kid or 2.
Peradventure.
Okay, they have 1 kid there with the person. Will they still be, will they still be there with the person,
Right.
or will they
Marriage.
deport?
So when
Or
you go
can
travel and get
he,
married. Okay,
the
thank
person
you.
extend
Point
the
taken.
visa?
If whoever that you get married to is a citizen of that particular country, and from their immigration allows, the Immigration Act allows them to file for the husband. That means she will now have to file, or he will now have to file for the other spouses and all that, and he's allowed. It's easier for him to stay while they are doing their filings, because it's a bit more stringent when one party is in the, let's say is in Nigeria and the other one is there. It's a bit more stringent, but when they are both there, it's easier for the other spouse to file.
See, a lot of people have taken advantage of this thing, and also the Trump administration is also looking for how to also alter and change this policy. So you never know, but the more you abuse it, the more difficult it is for people who actually are genuinely in love.
But also then, is not like that particular one is not total, because sometimes they also can say that, are you sure that this marriage is not fraud? It's not scam. Yes, they do their investigations too. Yeah, but maybe in a few cases, if they find out, they're not going to oblige, and they may even deport the other party. But if they don't, you know, it's go through, and I mean, they have it, they file, and the paper goes, and they can become, by marriage, it automatically becomes citizens of that country. Maybe they start with green card first before.
Let's take a few more tweets. Do you have any more tweets?
Daniel Tommy says, tourism is a big business all over the world. Lai Mohammed is the Minister for Tourism, Communication and National Reorientation, yet he has no knowledge.
Let me take this call from Henry in the U.S. Henry, are you there? Hello, Henry.
The U.S.
Hello, Henry, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, Mariah.
Please, Blab, go ahead.
I'm calling from U.S.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I just woke up now.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just looking at, I'm just watching you guys from U.S., you know, about the
immigration. Go ahead.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, the immigration stuff you guys are talking about, our advice on our youth, whenever they want to come to U.S. or any part of the world, they should always make sure they get the right documents, or if they have somebody they want to marry, that would be the easier way to come to U.S., or their parents are here. Without that, it's very tough for you to come in here. And when you come in here, you do all kinds of odd jobs. And besides, they shouldn't look U.S. as a bed of heaven. There are so many things to do in Nigeria. You know, for me, if I see a way to come back to Nigeria to set up something, but due to the insecurity, and sometimes when I send money back home, it's very tough for me, you know, for them to do it. You know, they will tell you all kinds of and eat the money. Then, because of that, that makes me coming to Nigeria to do something. I'm very, very scared. I mean, sometimes I have the money, but for me to come and invest, they will always be playing.
Thank you very much, Henry. You know, we have to round up on that, because unfortunately, we're going to continue talking about this, because the truth is that we don't want some Nigerians giving us a bad name. So it's important that we continually discuss it to help Nigerians understand the options. I always put myself as an example, because I'm not the kind of person, I'm not, I feel that my life is a learning for lots of people. And I had an issue where I was sent back because I lied to the immigration officer that I wasn't pregnant. So I'm suffering it today. And that's one of the reasons why I'm not able to travel. So I say it openly, not because I want to put my linens out there, but because it's important, you know, it's real. You don't get a chance to go back. So once you goof once, it's difficult to get the visa back. And that's what happened to me. So don't let us continue in that trend. Let us try to do things the right way. So that's why we'll continue. Thank you very much, sir, for coming.
Thank you.
Definitely, we'll still continue to bring immigration lawyers to help you understand the consequences of the poor choices, especially those of you carrying your pregnant self to travel abroad without paying for your medical bills. That in itself is detrimental to future travel plans. So we need to address these issues properly, so you know what the pros and cons are before you take that decision. Have a fabulous day. We'll see you tomorrow.